From the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
Good morning and welcome into halftime here on a rainy Thursday in Fayetteville and cloudy across our great natural state today. Phil Elson, Drew Barrett, Matty T. Drew's looking out the window. He got
I didn't know if it was
there.
cloudy or not. It is cloudy. You're right.
It's a little overcast.
Well, you've been stuck inside a studio for like 5 hours, man. I mean, how are you going to see the sky at that point?
That is true. I could always just
look
open
out
the window
every once in a while. Well, I could look out the windows where I'm located and remember what it was like 2 years ago. A little more than 2 years ago. The last time I did the show here to meet the baseball team to fly out from Drake Field was in the conference room, and that was the day after Rudy Gobert tested positive for COVID. And you know what happened the next day.
Mm-hmm. Conference tournament games started getting canceled. Baseball games started getting canceled. And then the world stopped.
Yep, it was. And I was brought back to this even last night at the Arkansas State baseball game because Will McIntyre was the starting pitcher for the Razorbacks, and he was the starting pitcher and winning pitcher the day before the world went to hell in a victory over Grand Canyon, and then didn't pitch again for the Hogs for 25 months. Now he's pitched in back-to-back weeks. So each time I see Will, who I've known since he was a little kid, growing up at Travelers games, every time I see him pitch, I think of those two things. Hey, I've known this kid since he was really little, and two, he was pitched the last game of that 2020 season, and then the team was supposed to meet here at Drake the next day and fly to Starkville to begin SEC play. And I'll never forget it. Matty may remember this. I was sitting here in this very conference room, and it's right here on the tarmac. I mean, we've joked about things before, like when Arkansas was looking for a new basketball coach. I did the show right here to meet the women's basketball team, and we joked about, oh look, here's the plane that's bringing the next new coach here. We can see every plane that lands and every plane that takes off at this little airstrip at the southern. Well, it's not really in Fayetteville; it's in Greenland. And I remember driving here and saw the plane that was supposed to take the team to Starkville, and by the end of the show, the plane had taken off with just the crew on it, and that was the end of that.
Did you know that everything had come to a halt before the plane took off? Or did you just see the plane leave and go, I think that's our plane?
No, we knew.
Where are they going?
We knew things were getting shut. The team never showed up. I by the time they were supposed to show up here and they didn't, I figured, well, I don't think we're playing baseball.
Yeah.
But they talked about it being a 2-week shutdown, not a whole shutdown.
Oh,
it was just supposed to be 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks turned into the rest of the season, and then it turned into like almost 2 full years. And now, since I haven't been in this room since then, and there's a major change now across the United States in airports and train stations and everything. This is the first time since the shutdown happened that I've walked into any airport and see no signs on the glass doors about masks. So it kind of brings it a little bit full circle, even though we're still, they're out on the East Coast. There's a bit of a surge going on. So. But obviously, I think our mindset is a little bit different than it has been for the last 2 years. Anyway, I mean, it's not to get into any depressing stuff. It's just if I'm in this room doing the show, maybe I should have done the show in the other room across the way over there, and I wouldn't have thought about that. But anyway.
Yeah, so, I don't want any that bad 2020 juju to start, creeping in. So
yeah, exactly.
If something hits the fan today, Phil, it's not just coincidence. This is now a pattern.
Well, here's a pattern for you, too, okay?
Okay.
Here's a pattern, and this is more sports. Anytime Arkansas plays an in-state team, they're going to beat the bejesus out of them. Is that good enough?
That's a good pattern.
that was I made that point before the 2-game series at Baum Walker with the Red Wolves occurred, and it just continued. Arkansas beat them by a combined score of 20-4. Even though Tuesday's game was tight-ish until blowing it open in the 7th inning with the Brady Slavens grand slam, yesterday was a little bit more formulaic. You know, you get a 3-run lead in the 2nd, you start to pull away in the 3rd, and by the time the 5th inning is over, game, set, match, and you're thinking you got a chance to run rule a team. So, and honestly, I think that's what the Hogs should have done to Arkansas State. But now with 1 game left against an in-state school, 78 runs for Arkansas, 21 runs for the other in-state schools so far, and playing the team on Tuesday that they beat 21-9. So we'll see how that goes. And apparently, a lot. But hey, 20-4. Well, that couldn't be a football score. I thought maybe that could be the score when Arkansas and AState meet on the football field.
It could be a football score.
I've seen a final score with 2. I've never seen a final score with just 4.
I mean, you get 2 safeties. Arkansas gets 3 touchdowns, misses 1 extra point. I mean, you get a 20-4.
Okay. Well, I apparently
it's
just
highly unlikely, but I mean, it could technically happen.
But apparently, getting blown out in back-to-back games was enough for Arkansas State to now have to begin to look for a new athletic director. Tom Bowen stepped down as vice chancellor for athletics, and Arkansas State health issues is the reason why. But comes the day after Arkansas and A-State meet on the baseball field, and things went a lot better for Arkansas than it did for A-State. I hope Mr. Bowen is okay.
Yes, but I was about to say, I know a lot of people have made that joke. We've already had that on the text line, and I know you didn't, when you said that, you didn't mean it in a malicious way, but I do just want to tell people that whether you've gotten to know Tom at his time at Arkansas State or have ever dealt with him, Tom Bowen is one of the nicest, greatest people that I have ever met in this business. A guy that, when he was at the University of Memphis, went out of his way to talk to me multiple times, to answer any questions, to help me out. There's a couple of times throughout my career where I thought of seriously switching over to college athletics, to getting into the administrative side of college sports, of being the SIDs, of working up the chain to become an athletic director. And Tom Bowen took so much time out of many busy days to talk with me, to give me some of the best advice that I've received, both personally and professionally. So just remember that, yes, it's easy to make those jokes, but there couldn't be a nicer, better person on this planet than Tom Bowen. So I do hope that he gets better. So just remember that. And I know I would join in those jokes if I didn't personally know him, but I do, and I can promise you he's the nicest guy in the world.
Well, it's just been a little over a year since he took the position, so it's not like you'd be stepping down for poor work after a year. So this doesn't seem like it's any kind of like an excuse to say, oh, more time with family, or I'm not feeling well, or health issues. This has got to be completely legit. So hopefully whatever is ailing him, they'll figure out. And the next time Arkansas and Arkansas State meet on, I don't know if they got them scheduled in basketball next year. I know the women's team, I think, travels to, well, they were in Jonesboro last year. I know that the women's team will play them every year. They'll have a new athletic director. And Hogs will probably still, well, you just signed Hunter Yurachek to a new contract, so he's not going anywhere. Wow, I mean, here was a big bomb drop yesterday across the landscape of college sports. Jay Wright retiring as the head coach of Villanova basketball after 21 years. And we were talking just before the Final Four about Wright potentially, if they would have won that national championship, being on the real short list of one of the great college basketball coaches of all time. As it turns out, he's just on the regular list of of one of the greatest basketball coaches of all time. But he's got 2 national titles, and if he would have won that third, I think there's only 5 other coaches that have won 3 national basketball championships in men's college basketball, Division I. So, but this kind of comes out of nowhere. But obviously it didn't come out of nowhere because Villanova already had his hand-picked successor in Kyle Neptune, who coached at Fordham for 1 year. But, like I know Wright's like, what, 60, 61 years
60
old?
60 years. 60 years old.
Plenty of time in the tank, man.
You think so?
Seems to have tons of energy. Certainly wasn't off his game or anything. So This one came off the last chair on the bench.
Yeah, this one did kind of come out of nowhere. I got the notification last night between games of basketball because I play basketball on Wednesday nights, and it just kind of blew me by. It's like, really? I mean, you're coming off a Final Four season, coming off a season that you could have possibly won the national championship game if your best player did not get hurt in the Elite Eight. I mean, literally in the final minutes of the Elite Eight, if you didn't lose your best player, you had a serious shot of beating either Duke, North Carolina, or Kansas. Like you were a legitimate team, and I guess sometimes you just know when it's time, and that's what it feels like with Jay Wright. And the speculation of he's retiring, taking an NBA job, because his name has been mentioned a lot over the last 5-6 years when it comes to NBA jobs and rumors of that sort. But from all reports thus far, and they're going to have a press conference tomorrow, and we'll hear it straight from the horse's mouth from Jay Wright at his press conference, it seems like he's just done. He's just ready to live right off in the sun, live his golden years, enjoy time with the wife and kids, and just actually enjoy retirement while he can. Which, I mean, four Final Fours, 2 national championships. I mean, that's pretty good.
Think about what he built there and what he maintained through 21 years of a league that tried to be a football league with the Big East, failed miserably in that case. Of course, Villanova, I think, plays
FCS,
like Division I AA, which of course is FCS now.
Pretty good football program too at the FCS level.
Well, I mean, they're the only national power out of the Big East. Like, you might have Creighton every once in a while. I know Providence had a good season last year. Connecticut, and I forget Connecticut because they just got back into the Big East after some time in the American. But Villanova's a step above UConn right now. I mean, for years and years, they were kind of it was UConn above them. Now I think it's Villanova above them. But, I mean, think of the other Big East schools that were powers back in the day when it was the college basketball league.
Georgetown ain't the Georgetown of the 80s.
Georgetown is not what Georgetown used to be. I mean, even every once in a while, Seton Hall has a decent year. St. John's has a decent year, but they're not doing the kind of things that I remember watching in the 80s and even in the 90s. But Villanova, it's like the one program year in, year out in the Big East that you could just count on not just being good, but being really good.
Yeah, I mean, being national title contenders. I mean, you kind of look at it, and it shocked me. I didn't know that Jay Wright had been there for 21 years. I didn't realize that he has literally been there since I was 6 years old. Yeah.
He was an assistant under Raleigh Massimino. Yeah. I mean, that's going way back. That's the team that won. I don't know if he was an assistant when they won that national title with that big upset over Georgetown in '85. Yeah. But you draw a line from that national championship to the 2 national titles in this great program that Neptune is now inheriting. But that's and it'll be good to talk to Aaron Torres about this tomorrow, because AT is pointing out you've had Roy Williams, Mike Krzyzewski, and now Jay Wright all retire over the last 2 calendar years. With Coach K and with Roy Williams, you can point to age as being the reason why. Like, you go ahead and ride off into the sunset. They're in their mid to late 70s. Jay Wright is still, I mean, the dude doesn't, he looks younger than me. He looks younger than me. He's 15 years older than me. I mean, the guy looks incredible. I mean, he's got plenty of energy. Why retire right now?
I guess it's just one of those things when you know. Maybe it's just, and who knows? I'm sure he'll explain why, his real reasons tomorrow at his press conference. But it is one of those just shocking things of when you have all this momentum, when you have won 2 national championships in the last 6 years, you're coming off of your third Final Four in that stretch. Like, you've got all the momentum in the world. You're dominating a league. It seems like the best days are actually ahead, even though you're coming off of a Final Four and 2 national championships in the last 6 years. It just feels like maybe he's gotten to the point where he's accomplished what he always wanted to accomplish. He's checked every box, and now it's just time to find a different box to check. And maybe that's away from Villanova, and that's away from the game of basketball.
Well, whatever it's going to be, I think, didn't he say he's still going to be involved with the athletic department somehow? So
he'll be as an advisor type of thing.
Yeah, it's got a little Bruce Arians feel, like stepping back from coaching to do something else. Though I think Arians is probably going to have a little bit more to do with the Bucks organization than Wright will with overall Villanova athletics, but I don't think he's leaving Nova totally. And, oh, by the way, speaking of like one of those teams I just mentioned that used to be one of the Big East teams, and the coach is still there, Boeheim, I mean, holding on by the very tip of his fingernail.
He'll outlive all of us. And still be mad.
That's right.
He'll be coaching when he's 100 and still get angry at people asking about his future. Because God forbid you ask the old man if he's going to stick around. Him and Pop. I don't understand why they get so angry. Guys, just accept it. You're old. People are going to ask how much longer you're going to be able to do this. Not because you're bad at your job. It's because you're old. And Father Time is undefeated, and he will take you down to the grave, unfortunately. For all of us. We all will die.
Some of us might be zombies and live forever. And
I'd rather be a ghost.
Still wear sport coats on the court side. That's right.
I'd rather be a ghost than a zombie.
Big news across college basketball yesterday. 2 bombs dropped 2 weeks after the championship game. Oscar Tshiebwe returning to Kentucky. Jay Wright retiring as head coach of Villanova basketball. Let's see if this Tshiebwe thing has anything to do with NIL. Probably does. 877-377-6963 on halftime. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
You were my hope, you were my smoke. You dropped the bomb. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me. But you turned me out. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. Tommy and Ty on the morning rush. Paint the game with a golden brush. Halftime field show, diamonds today. Strike 'em out, love to sing. Russian sack are 2 insane skies. Hogs score, I'm feeling so high. Going hog wild on Dixon Street.
ESPN 95.3.
Nobody has more pre-owned trucks than Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford. Work trucks, heavy-duty 4-wheel drive trucks, single cab, extended cab, and 4-wheel drive crew cab trucks. Fords, Chevys, GMCs, Dodge, Ram, and Nissans. And with historic low interest rates, no payments for 90 days, and the most for your trade, Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford is the only place to buy your next truck. Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salasol.
The basketball playoffs are here, and you can wager on all the games with the Bentley Sportsbook from Southland Casino. It's the only online sportsbook live in Arkansas. Visit Bentley.com to sign up and cash in on your up to $250 risk-free first bet. Bentley's online sports betting offers real paydays. Place bets on pro and amateur sports, including the local teams with Bentley, BETLY.com. Plus, you'll get paid in cash. The Bentley Sportsbook's easy action is a slam dunk. Take your shot today. Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Racing fans, the road to the roses has started. Where are you going to bet? BUSR, of course. Win, place, show, you name it, they got it. You can even place future wagers on the Kentucky Derby today and lock in fantastic odds. Besides horses, you can bet on sports and play over 300 casino games at BUSR. Sign up today and get an exclusive 100% deposit bonus. Go to BUSR.com/morningrush. That's BUSR.com/morningrush. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR.
Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith is open and ready to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations available for ages 5 and up and the new second booster for ages 50 and up. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your booster appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Great people, great equipment, great opportunities. That is what you get at Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, Arkansas, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, with regional OTR and local opportunities for qualified CDL drivers. Make up to $95,000 annually and be a part of a team that embraces the concept of family. Patriot Transport wants you to be successful on the road and at home, working with every driver to ensure they get the miles they want and the family time at home they strive for. Patriot Transport. More than trucking, it's family. Visit patriottransport.com to apply.
Business is back, and your locally owned TGI Fridays is now hiring for multiple positions. For over 26 years, TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has been locally owned and a fun place to work, and we want you to come be a part of our family. Apply in person or message us online on our TGI Fridays Fort Smith Facebook page. If you've been out of work and are needing a job, or you're just looking for a career change, we have multiple positions available in the front and back of the house, and we want to welcome you to our family at your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I'm getting out of this high-rise penthouse suite where we pretend life's rosy and sweet. I'm going back to the folks that I used to know, where everyone is what they seem to be. And these high-class friends that you like to hang around, when they look my way, they're always looking down.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
I'm going back to a better class of losers.
So Oscar Tshiebwe announces he's returning to Kentucky the same day that the Razorbacks announced that they've signed Anthony Black, which makes it now 12 scholarships are accounted for, and there's 13 scholarships.
13 accounted for.
You got a 14th potentially. Let's say 14 are accounted for with Jalen Williams.
That's one too many.
If he would choose to come back, one too many. That's exactly right. None of the freshmen would be asked to leave. I don't know how you ask transfers who've already made their decision to leave,
and who probably already on campus. That should be a little weird.
So the writing's a little bit on the wall in that position. But this Tshiebwe thing, like if NIL wasn't allowed right now, would Tshiebwe still be coming back? Because if his draft stock has already plateaued, and at the age of 22 it has plateaued. That means it's 100%. Not getting any better. Age is rather important when it comes to the NBA draft. So this is about probably the ability to make more money and still be like the dude or potentially still the best player in the nation, instead of being an afterthought on some G League roster or being forced to go look to play overseas at a point where a lot of the places that are crazy about basketball right now ain't a place you really want to be at this very moment.
Yeah, the Ukraine itself has a great basketball league over there overseas, and Russia has a good league. And in honesty, with the way that conflict and everything is going, how close do you want to get? Do you want to go to France? Is that far enough? Is Italy far enough? Is Turkey far enough? That's one of those questions you got to ask yourself. Am I willing to cross an ocean to play on a continent where there is a war going on right now? It might not be going on in my neck of the woods, but it's still on this continent. I think that if there was a war going on in Mexico or Canada right now, even though we weren't involved and it's thousands of miles away, it would still make us all feel a little uncomfortable, it being relatively close.
You'd like a little stability in your
exactly.
in your region. Exactly. So then why not stay in Lexington, where you will be revered, unless you lose in the first round to a St. Peter's again. You'll still be revered as a National Player of the Year, and now you can make money. And you can make money, not just like, okay, I'll have my books paid for, and you can make a lot of money. If Bryce Young is making 7 figures as the starting quarterback at Alabama, and Kentucky is a basketball-first school, then how much money can Oscar Tshiebwe make?
I mean, according
Tons.
to
he can make a lot.
Yeah, I mean, according to Gary Parrish of CBS Sports, he talked about it yesterday after the news broke out. He said he guarantees it's a 7-figure deal between probably multiple different companies and everything. And we talked about it with Bill King yesterday about the collective thing that Alabama's got going on right now. I haven't seen if Kentucky is doing that or has already done that or is planning on doing that. I'm sure now that Alabama football has it, Kentucky basketball obviously is going to want it. So I'm sure that's going to play a factor in all of this. So when you're Oscar Tshiebwe, it really is a no-brainer. I mean, you feel like he's plateaued, like we said. He's 22. I don't think his draft stock is going to drop. It's definitely not going to rise. I think right now and probably next year, as long as he stays healthy and gives relatively the same productivity. It's hard to repeat as the national basketball player of college basketball twice because, one, I don't believe it's ever been done. And two, that's just a lot of pressure. I mean, it's like asking somebody to repeat as a Heisman. We've only had one of those ever happen before. So he's still going to be an early to mid-second round pick next year. You might as well come back, make $1 to $2.5 million from reports that I've heard, rather than be a two-way player, possibly most of the time in the G League, and making $100K at the most. I mean, if you're a two-way player, I think you'll make $200, but you won't get up above $4 until you're a full member of the 15-man roster. And that's only $400. I think it's $450 or $500K is what the league minimum is.
But he's going to make more.
But
money
you're going to make
in Kentucky.
Exactly. I mean, you're going to end up making
so why not stay there?
$2K. And let me reiterate, because I've seen this so many times. Just because Tshiebwe's coming back doesn't mean Jalen Williams is coming back.
No, it does not mean that Jalen Williams is
everybody
coming back.
Calm down. Okay.
They're different. There are different situations. Jalen Williams is a little bit more. I don't know. He seems more ascendant with as a younger player. He's just more.
The ceiling's higher,
I think, in the view of NBA scouts. And yes, he's got a higher ceiling in that case. I mean, right now he might even be drafted ahead of Tshiebwe if the both of them went into the draft. But there still is the idea that he's not guaranteed as a first-round pick. And he would be guaranteed, I don't know if Jalen would make 7 figures at Arkansas or not, but he'd make great money. He's probably the most popular player on the team, even from last year. I think Jalen Williams.
For sure.
Hey, you can make money when people always think you're happy, and he always looks happy. Aside from being a great basketball player, and I think he's so intelligent the way the way he communicates. So I think he'd make tons of money at Arkansas coming back. So you have this blueprint right there. It's just the difference. The difference here is in 2 years. 2 years difference between Jalen Williams' age and Oscar Tshiebwe's age is the only thing we're talking about here. One of them who's reached a plateau because NBA scouts don't care about you too much if you're 22, even if you are the best college player in the country. And at 20, is there one more year left to continue to ascend and get that first-round money?
I think the risk is too high. It outweighs the reward, right? I think that, yes, you could. It's been done before. A third-year guy has been drafted in the first round. I'm not saying that he can't be, but I'm saying more times than none, you look at lottery picks, you look at the top 20. Guys, those are all freshmen and sophomores. You rarely ever see a upperclassman in those picks, because when teams are picking that low in the draft, when they're in the lottery, they're there for a reason, right? They're in a rebuilding mode. They're trying to build up their team for the future, and you want somebody that's going to be in your franchise, hopefully, if you can retain them after their rookie contract, for as long as possible. And 2 years of age, that's 2 whole seasons. That's something that NBA scouts look out all the time. That's something front offices take very seriously. So even risking 1 year, it's a lot to ask, man.
Well, I also know someone else I want on my team. It's you two guys and Bob Holt, and he's going to come with us in just a moment from the Democrat Gazette. First, want to thank our friends at Pradco Fishing Lures for sponsoring Halftime, doing cold water bass fishing. Make sure you got the Umbrella Flash Mob Junior in your tackle box. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad. You'll work it from the top of the water column to the bottom, and you can find the Umbrella Flash Mob Junior available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, Lurenet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. Bob Holt from the Demizette next.
Hold me tight, kiss me, my darling, be mine tonight. Tomorrow will be too late. It's now or never.
See more and do more in a new 300 Series compact track loader from New Holland. Its industry-leading 360-degree visibility is truly something to see at Williams Tractor, now WT Equipment in Springdale, with its reverse camera and 8-inch multifunction LCD.
When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Jason Aldean says there's only two means of salvation around here that seem to work: whiskey or the Bible, shot glass or revival. He doesn't want to be stuck in these two ruts. He needs something in between to fulfill his dreams. Hebrews 7:25 says, Jesus is able to save completely those who draw near to God through him. Don't trust your spiritual strut or placing your butt in a church pew or bar stool, because all three will lie to you. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season futures. And don't forget that the MLB is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Jason Aldean says there's only two means of salvation around here that seem to work: whiskey or the Bible, shot glass or revival. He doesn't want to be stuck in these two ruts. He needs something in between to fulfill his dreams. Hebrews 7:25 says, Jesus is able to save completely.
Ball game. ESPN 95.3.
Here on a Thursday. Bob, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing well.
We're great. We're great. Waiting for the baseball team to arrive so we can fly out to Texas A&M. The post-game press conference yesterday after another win over Arkansas State and another blowout over an in-state team. It's not that Dave Van Horn sounded disinterested at all, but he said he just wanted to get by this thing and get right to conference play. And, they played well. It's not like Arkansas was disinterested, but you could tell by Dave's voice yesterday he just wants to get past this midweek stuff.
Well, yeah, there's kind of Tom Murphy covered yesterday. I covered the day before. But, yeah, it's kind of cold, nasty day, and I think the games were both 3.5 hours. Obviously you like, if you're Arkansas or anybody, you like to score runs, but when it's 10-1 and 10-3 and there's a lot of walks and, you make a lot of pitching changes, that it tends to make the games go longer. So, yeah, I think, obviously it's all about the conference. I mean, the midweek games are important because you're getting younger players, especially some pitchers, they're not necessarily all young, but you're getting your pitchers that don't work on the weekends some work, and maybe seeing if some guys can help you on the weekends, like Zach Morris. The way he pitched the week before against UAPB, that got him a look against LSU, and he pitched well. And maybe some of these other guys, McIntyre's hadn't pitched since 2020, and he's gotten 2 starts now in midweek. You can see Dylan Leach, having some home runs and having some good games. So the midweek games have a place, but yeah, I think when you're beating somebody 10-1 and 10-3, you just kind of want to get through those games probably.
Well, they've outscored the in-state schools 78-21, and that goes along with really every other sport, every other team on campus that's played any other in-state school. They've kind of blown them all out. And here it was. It's like, what happens if they lose to them? Well, Arkansas lost the first game they've ever played against an in-state team, or for a long time, that in 2019, and since then they've just been beaten. I mean, honestly, kind of beaten the bejesus out of them.
Yeah, that first game against ULR, 17-7, and that, not take anything away from ULR. That was a huge win for that program, and I covered that game, and you could almost hear the voice of Frank Burrell saying, "This is why you don't play these teams, Dave." But Dave was the guy that really pushed for it because, and he talked about this the other day. It's just hard to get teams to travel, later in the season during the week. And Arkansas obviously don't want to have to travel. I mean, they've had a home and home with Missouri State before. I think this year they're just playing Missouri State over here. But you can get the in-state teams will travel because, one, it's not – and Jonesboro's a fairly long trip. I think it's about a 6-hour drive. But, but the in-state teams, they really want to play Arkansas, so they're willing to do it. And, of course, Arkansas's – I guess will be a home game next Tuesday when they play UCA, but obviously that's just a 30-minute drive for UCA or 20 minutes or whatever to North Little Rock. So it's just good. It kind of, there's more interest if Arkansas is playing, Arkansas State instead of, Troy or some other Sun Belt team if they're playing UALR. So at some point, I think Arkansas has won 13 straight, not since losing to UALR, 13 straight over in-state teams. And at some point, they'll lose to another in-state team. Either that team will play real well or Arkansas will have an off night or something. But I think what it's shown is that, the world isn't going to come to an end. One, if Arkansas plays these teams, and even if they happen to lose to them like they did to UALR, most of the time Arkansas is going to dominate these teams as they should, because not to knock them, but Arkansas is a top 5 program, and they should be beating these teams on a regular basis.
That they should, Bob. And now that Anthony, switching sports here, going to basketball real quick. Now that Anthony Black is signed and your freshman class is now officially official. We talked last segment about Oscar Tshiebwe's coming back to Kentucky. Reported that he's going to get NIL deals of 7 figures, some reports up to $2.5 million in NIL deals in this next calendar year. Are any of these 6 freshmen coming in this class, do you think will be one of the first 7-figure college athletes in the natural state?
Man, I have no idea. I don't really know what. They keep the NIL deals pretty private as far as I know. It would not surprise me if somebody like Nick Smith had a pretty good NIL deal, or some of the other guys for that matter, but especially a local player, an in-state player like him that was so highly recruited. But, think about Oscar Tshiebwe. He was not, I don't think he was going to be a high draft pick. I think if he was, he would have left for the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But as good a college player as he is, he's just not, he's not listed as a lottery pick, maybe not even a first-round pick. So it makes a lot of sense for him to come back. That's one thing I think it's really good about NIL for the players is that if you're going to be a first-round pick, you probably should leave. If you're going to be a lottery pick, I think that's a no-brainer because whatever NIL can pay you, you're going to make more money in the NBA, I would think. But $2.5 million, lottery picks are going to get more than that over a 3 or 4 year period. But I think it's good for a guy who says, well, I don't know if I'm going to be a first round pick or even drafted at all, but I know I can make some money, whether it's in the G League or playing overseas or whatever the case might be. But now he can say, well, if I come back, I know I can make good money in NIL. And I can probably make as much as I could make in the G League or more, maybe more, and that's the way I don't have to go overseas in what it seems to be an increasingly dangerous world outside the U.S. So I think that's a nice option to have, and it's probably a no-brainer for a guy like, Tshiebwe to come back for that kind of money. And I would expect these Arkansas athletes, whatever the sport might be, to make increasing money as. But I honestly, I don't know anybody's NIL deal, from a specific standpoint.
Drew, there's a dissonance with 2 announcements from players that were at Kentucky. And I know this isn't a Kentucky show, but we focus on college sports. You have the National Player of the Year in Tshiebwe announcing, I'm not going to go into the draft. I'm going to come back to Kentucky. And maybe the most talented kid on the Kentucky team, Shaedon Sharpe, who never even saw the floor.
Mm.
He never played a game, never played a single minute for Kentucky, sat the bench the entire season. Cal was asked tons of questions about him. He said he's staying in the draft, and ESPN's got him ranked 6th. He's a surefire lottery pick, man. He didn't even play a minute, and here's the National Player of the Year. He's not good enough for the first round.
Yeah, and that's why it is so important. And that's why I have to drive my point home so much that age and ceiling truly is the real factor. And Rob, I want to bring you into this discussion as well. Does it almost feel like nowadays when you're talking about draft lotteries and how guys' games translate from high school, collegiate, all the way up to the National Basketball Association, that it almost doesn't matter what you did in college? The fact, all that matters is that you're 19, right? Is that you're draft eligible. Why does it feel that way? And should it be that way, that regardless of what a guy does at the collegiate level, he can still be looked at as a lottery pick because he just has, God-given talent and the right body size, and scouts project his ceiling to be as high as they do?
Yeah, it seems like it's much more that way in the NBA. It's almost like, the older you get, the oh, he's over the hill or something. It's like I'll just use Daniel Gafford as an example. He was a highly recruited guy, and I think he was a 4-star, but I don't think anybody had him being a first-round pick as a freshman. And, of course, he didn't go in the draft as a freshman. But, the way Daniel came on, late in the year especially, he was so athletic, the way he ran the floor for a big guy. And there was definitely buzz that he was going to be probably a late first-round pick if he had come out. And I was kind of surprised he didn't even test the water. But I'll give him credit for coming back, and that was great for Arkansas basketball. And I'm sure he improved some, but he went from being a guy that was projected possibly to be a first round pick. We'll never know for sure. And if he'd worked out, they would have found some holes in his game. But he ended up being, I didn't look this up, but I think he was picked about 38th. So kind of an early second-round pick, and he's done very well in the NBA, playing for the Wizards, and he's going to make a lot of money.
Oh, they love him in Washington.
Yeah, barring injury, Daniel Gafford's going to have a very long, successful NBA career. And but I think he probably would have been, this is just my speculation, I think he would have been a higher pick if he'd come out after his freshman year. I guess selfishly I'm glad he didn't, because he was a fun guy to cover, and he made that Arkansas team a lot more interesting. And but yeah, you're right. It's almost, and that's where if you're Jalen Williams, you kind of got to wonder. He's 19. I think he turns 20 sometime late spring or early summer. And Jalen had a great year, and he's being projected. I've seen him anywhere from maybe an early to a late second-round pick, not a first-round pick. But if people say, well, gee, why is he even considering it? Well, it's because next year maybe his stock drops because oh my God, he's 20. He's going to be 21 by the time next season starts. It seems crazy because, of course, I grew up in an era when, Larry Bird was, picked. Of course, Magic Johnson was the exception at that time in '79 coming out as a sophomore. Sidney Moncrief, these guys were men. They were 20, 21, 22, maybe 23 in some cases when they went into the league. And really, if you think about it, if you look at the MLB draft, Bill can probably, speak to this better than I can, but I don't know the exact numbers, but I think you see a lot more college players drafted high now because they're more of a proven commodity than the high school players. The high school players don't have a lot of talent, a lot of upside, but you're a little more sure what you're getting when you're drafting a guy who's 20 or 21 who's pitched for 3 years in the SEC or the Big 12 or whatever than you are a high school kid. And maybe, and you're wondering about the competition he's gone against. And so, and in the NFL, obviously, one of the reasons that the NFL has kept that rule that, you got to play at least 3 years, or at least your class. You can't come out before your class. It's 3 years. Is because the NFL doesn't want 19-year-old kids going into the NFL and getting the crap beat out of them. They want people who are 21 or 20 at least, and especially with linemen, they probably want older guys. They want guys that are physically matured. But in the NBA, you're right. It just seems like it's all based on ceiling and potential. And if you're Kobe, Bryant or something, that works great. But what about Kwame Brown? People might say, who's that? Well, he was the #1 draft pick a few years ago, and he didn't do squat that I remember. And he's kind of the poster child for, picking guys who haven't done anything. But I think if they see, I think one of the reasons that they like having, they at least like having these guys play 1 year in college to see what they do at the college level, kind of how they handle that. But it seems like in the NBA more than anything, it's like the younger the better. And I get that, but it's almost like, well, by the time that guy really hits his stride, he's a free agent, But yeah, that's definitely. Right. Yeah, it seems like in the NBA, younger's better, where you don't see that as much in Major League Baseball and the NFL. And I really don't follow the NHL well enough to know about that. I know they draft a lot of young guys in the NHL for sure too.
Yeah, but they're allowed to play college hockey, and that's what junior hockey's for too. Hey, Bob, we got to run. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay, have a good trip to Adjuland.
You got it. That's
Appreciate
Bob
it,
Holt.
Bob.
We'll be back with him Thursday next week. One of the greatest sports writers of all time at the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Hey, you could get over to Twin Peaks and Rogers to watch the Tyson Fury-Dillian White fight this Saturday. They're facing off for the belt. You can grab a table. You can order a full plate of street tacos to keep it going through every round. That's at Twin Peaks in Rogers, your sports headquarters with 29-degree draft beer always flowing, kitchen burst with made-from-scratch fan favorites, and they'll have the fight blasting from every angle. That's the ultimate game day experience at Twin Peaks Restaurant in Rogers, or go to twinpeaksrestaurant.com to order for delivery, and you can enjoy your Twin Peaks food at home. More TVs, bigger screens, scenic views, more to watch at Twin Peaks, and the first hour of halftime wrapping up next.
Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, always online at randallford.com. Rocky, some of the misnomers about the car industry is that when you walk into a dealership, you're going to be walking out with a $700-800 payment, but you guys have several vehicles on the lot right now that are $400 a month or less.
That's exactly right. Cars are expensive today, but like you said, I mean, I've got 20, 30 plus units out here that with approved credit, I mean, you can get sub $400, maybe even some sub $300 a month car payments and get down the road in a reliable car.
And interest rates are pretty cheap right now, so the time to buy a car is right now.
That's exactly right. Rates are at an all-time low right now, so come by, check out our inventory, and see what we can do for you guys.
Fords, cars, trucks, SUVs, you name it, you're going to find it. Stop by and see Rocky today at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, always online at randallford.com.
Everyone loves great Tex-Mex. The best Tex-Mex around is at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Tex-Mex brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, pork belly tacos, and the best fajitas in town. And when the Hogs are on TV, it's always half-price apps and taps. Your favorite drinks and the best Tex-Mex in town is at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
NWA Gold and Silver has moved to a new location in Fort Smith at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express. NWA Gold and Silver is always buying gold and silver, scrap, bullion, and coins. Plus, NWA Gold and Silver buys and sells jewelry of all kinds. Diamond rings, wedding bands, engagement rings, earrings, and more. Bring in your gold or silver today to the people that pay the most and have the best deals. NWA Gold and Silver in their new location at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express in Fort Smith.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Extended. Breeden RV's tax time sale has extended until April 30th. That's right. We will pay up to $1,000 of your state sales tax on all new inventory from now until the end of April, and you will still get to take advantage of discounts up to $20,000 off new travel trailers and up to $30,000 off new fifth wheels. All come with Breeden RV's exclusive maintenance for life at no extra charge. We also want to buy your used RV, so come see us today at Breeden RV in Van Buren or BreedenRVs.com. While supplies last, see dealer for details.
Carco Auto Sales takes great pride in serving Fort Smith, the River Valley, and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years, offering a variety of quality, late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. The friendly and knowledgeable staff can help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Carco Auto Sales will purchase your vehicle as well. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. Check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Our plane has arrived. I was getting a little nervous there for a moment. Our plane has arrived at Drake Field.
That's
so
good.
Good. I think once the team gets here, I'll feel a lot better about making it over to Texas A&M.
Just make sure it doesn't turn around and leave without you.
Exactly, yeah. They're going to take off in like an hour and a half, so I've got time to finish the show with you guys. We've got time to talk about this incredible linebacker on unsuspecting wide receiver hit.
I wish we had more time, though.
Junior college baseball game in Texas yesterday. Oh, we'll have the second hour to talk about some of this stuff.
All right, good. This has got to be a two-segmenter.
Number 2. So, yeah, for those listeners who are not driving at this very moment, just go find this video as soon as you possibly can. I think all you got to do is go to ESPN's website, and they'll have it right there for you. It's a game between Weatherford College and North Central Texas College yesterday, and North Central Texas player Josh Phillips hits a go-ahead home run as he's rounding third base. The pitcher that gave up the dinger, Owen Woodward, sprints at him and lays him out.
I mean,
unsuspecting.
Boom.
It's the greatest hit I've ever seen on a baseball field, which might be the last time that this pitcher, Owen Woodward, ever throws a pitch in a baseball game for the rest of his life.
I mean, and rightfully so. He shouldn't. I mean, you hit. I don't know if there's anywhere really to come back from that. I mean, you might be able to get a shot at another JUCO somewhere halfway across the country, but you definitely ain't playing in Texas anymore.
The best part about the video.
Golly.
The best part about the video is after this little 20-second brawl that happens on the third base line with essentially just the pitcher and the team of the kid who hit the home run. Once they pull everybody off the pile, Phillips gets up and he trots home, points to the sky, and hits home plate after he got laid out by the pitcher.
And I'm shocked that there weren't more punches thrown. It didn't seem like there was, everybody else seemed to remain pretty calm. I'm
Drew,
shocked.
I would be less surprised if Matty T reached over and slapped you on the face right now. But we're going in the second hour, so please don't do that.
In today's world, slow internet equals a bad day. If you're in a rural area, you've experienced this way too often. Online meetings, schoolwork, enjoying family movie night, it's downright impossible. The solution? Fast fiber internet from Wave Rural Connect. Service is available near Uniontown, Van Buren, Pecola, Cass, Ozone, Altus, and many other areas. Check to see if it's available for you at waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Save thousands during the storm damage sale at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Over 350 new and pre-owned vehicles were damaged during the recent storm, and now over $1 million in discounts will be passed on to Harry Robinson's customers. Some of the damage is really minor, but the savings are severe. Plus, there are still lots of vehicles that were not damaged in stock. Save thousands on your next vehicle during the storm damage sale at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a chance of a few showers or thunderstorms, otherwise more clouds and sunshine. Our high will be in the mid to upper 70s. A decrease in the cloud cover tonight. Overnight lows will drop down low 60s, and a beautiful sunny day Friday, highs into the lower 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Well, our plane has arrived, and they pulled it right behind me. I could just walk outside the doors right here and get on the airplane before anybody else. This is called curbside pickup for radio broadcasters.
What kind of amenities they give you on that plane? Free champagne, caviar? What are we talking about?
No, they'll bring some snacks around. This is not the airline company that used to do. This was the best thing. They made the warmest chocolate chip cookies that you've ever had in your life. And you got a glass of milk with it. And they would even wake you up from a nap if you requested it so that you get your milk and cookies. I mean, they treated us like nice? 5-year-olds, but I didn't mind that at all. I love milk and cookies.
It's nice to be pampered every now and then.
Got a great tweet from a listener at Brett Hogg talking about this junior college pitcher in Weatherford College that laid out a hitter that had hit a home run off of him. I mean, he waterboyed him. Mm-hmm. That's what he did. He waterboyed him.
Yeah, he did.
And I don't mean waterboard. I meant waterboy, the hit from the movie. Brett says, I hear Tony Vitello offered that Weatherford pitcher a scholarship on the spot. Dun-dun-dun. Well said. Good. Well done. I like that one.
I mean, that's a crazy hit, but I just got a text with the video, and I'll send it to you here in a second, of a pitcher blocking, trying to keep a runner from scoring after a pass ball. This buddy Billy, who was playing at Hendricks a few years back, his freshman year, sent me a video of Hendricks in Berry College game where the Berry College pitcher had a pass ball. Hendricks clear cut to score, and the dude, I mean, just shoulder and all, just boom. I mean, knocks him out. Like, it's something you got to see. I'm going to send it to you right now. Like, it is insane.
Not the kind of stuff that usually happens.
I didn't realize this stuff happened that as much, but I mean, we talk about it for 2 minutes, and I'm already getting other examples.
I thought we did away with collisions once the Buster Posey rule took effect.
Well, that was between runners and catchers. These are between pitchers and runners.
Pitchers
all
and
is fair,
runners
apparently.
Avoid each other like the plague. They do.
Normally.
Obviously, this kid has played safety before or linebacker. Like, I remember thinking that we had a player. This was a tragic story. A tragic story for a kid from Texas named Aaron Peel, who was a pretty good minor league ball player in the Angels system, but he was sort of an undersized kind of a hitter. He was like 5'8", 5'9", but built somewhat well, and he'd played safety in college, in high school. Mm-hmm. But he chose baseball as his path. Theoretically, it's a safer game, right?
Theoretically,
well,
speaking.
he was. there's a term when a third base coach sends you around third base and you have absolutely no chance of scoring that we don't hear too often. The term is suicide mission.
Oh, yes.
And he was sent on a suicide mission, and his football instincts try to take over. And I don't remember the catcher, but he dives in head first to the catcher, just tries to take him out.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't move for another 20, 25 minutes. He had his collarbone fractured, and he was done for the year. He was never the same, and he actually passed away just a couple years after that due to a drug overdose, and I think it had to do with the pain medication he'd been taking. So it truly was a tragic story. It was terrible. And you might remember Corky Miller, a catcher for the Reds, who was built like a tank.
Mm-hmm.
And you might remember Bill Hall, an infielder for the Milwaukee Brewers like 15, 16 years ago. I saw Bill Hall when he was 18, and he was maybe 180 pounds sopping wet, try to take out Corky Miller on a play at home plate in the Pioneer League and shattered his wrist in like 45 different places. Like, you don't see this kind of contact on a baseball field for a reason, but the fact that the kid who got laid out got up and still had the wherewithal to go touch the plate and still point to the sky, give his little celebration. It's like, give the guy an extra run for that. They ended up suspending the game. They suspended the game because how can you – it's like almost one entire team
Why suspend
got
the game,
out
though?
and fought somebody. I don't know. I'm not a commissioner of a league. I don't know
and
what to tell
honestly, I think if you had to throw people out, obviously, I mean, this goes without said, the pitcher is getting tossed. I think that maybe some of the guys for the opposing team are getting tossed because they came from the bench. They left the bench area and kind of to help get him off. But honestly, I wouldn't be upset if the only person thrown out of the game would have been the pitcher. Because
what could this guy have done? Think of all of the crazy celebrations we see right now. We see batters take the bat and literally throw it up to the sky in celebration. And this is the only moment I've ever seen of a pitcher laying out a runner as he's coming around third base.
And
he must have done something. He must have said something about the kid's mother.
I don't think he did. I've watched the video 1,000 times, and there's a little bit of a dead spot between home and first. But you can watch the guy run around the bases from first to second to third, and then right as he turns to third, that's when the pitcher throws his glove down, and he says, let's get it on, and he goes and trucks him. The runner never moves his head unless he is really good of, talking and not looking at somebody when you're addressing somebody. I don't think anything was said, which is the even crazier part about it. I mean, how do you just lose your mind like that as a pitcher? When we've talked about it multiple times about how mentally strong you have to be a pitcher. Like, it does take a lot of mental energy to do the job, but to just go from calm, cool, and normal, I mean, for the first 15 seconds of the video to just snapping. Like, that's the one thing I don't get, because you rewatch the video. The runner's head never moves. I mean, it is looking forward, just nice jog around the base. I mean, he's not, and it's not even like he was taking a sweet, what time. He was having a good home run trot, not milking it, not doing any hand signs, nothing.
There's got to be some backstory that eventually we have to hear, and it's going to be like a soap opera or Bachelorette kind of a thing. Somebody stole somebody's girlfriend. Somebody dated somebody's sister.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody stole something from somebody. I mean, these kids, some of them know each other from years before, and there are rivalries that are born from competition year after year, and sometimes you just don't like that guy's stupid face.
Yeah, sometimes.
But I don't know what it's got to be something crazy, because why else would a football tackle occur on a baseball field and it didn't happen on a collision at home plate?
I mean, Jody does point it out. I mean, if he doesn't have a future in baseball, maybe football. I mean, very beautiful open field tackle.
I mean, he
didn't have any help around him. That is a clear-cut form tackle. Drop the shoulders, right into it and drive through. I mean, that is clear-cut form. That was
really
great.
was. At that point, you just lean in. You lean into it a little. Just like,
yeah.
So this kid obviously should be giving tackling lessons. Just like I saw a photo from yesterday's Tennessee Bellarmine baseball game, or Tuesday's Tennessee Bellarmine baseball game from outside the stadium, because Tony Vitello's not allowed in the stadium, and he's giving chest bumps for $2 for a charity, and there's a big sign for it and a big smile on his face, and it's not really just a smile, it's a something-eating grin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's called leaning into it.
It
quite
was
a
for
bit.
Wounded Warriors, and, that's a charity I think everybody can get behind. So it's kind of making lemonade out of lemons, right? So,
well, we are talking
it was
about
his
the
own
head
fault,
coach
but
we are talking
do
about the
something
head
good
coach,
about it.
Drew, that the last time he was suspended from multiple games had a pizza and lemonade party 2 blocks away from the stadium. So, yes, he does make lemonade out of things.
Yeah, that he does.
He really does. 877-377-6963. Yeah, I don't think I'll see. I have not seen any collisions at home plate, virtually any collisions on the baseball field that haven't been, since I've been doing Arkansas games, that haven't been outfielders that don't communicate. It happened with the AState left fielder and center fielder twice over the series. One time they collided. Another time they just sort of nudged shoulders. And then the rest of the game yesterday, they were just kind of like looking over the shoulder at each other like, well, I wonder if this guy's going to knock me out. But there was, in the outfield, every once in a while you might think that happens. After you hit a home run, ball's dead, game stops, trot around. Boom! And now think about that hitter. Any other time he hits a home run, and he comes around
he's
third
looking
base,
over his shoulder.
He's looking over to that pitcher's mound. You bet your butt.
He's keeping his head on a swivel for sure.
He might ask the catcher for his catcher's gear to trot around the bases next time. All right, stay tuned. We'll be back after this on Halftime.
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, College at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon, touchdown Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot,
Only on ESPN 95.3.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Spring showers bring flowers and cash back from Ashley Air. Get up to $3,000 cash back on select new systems with approved credit from Ashley Air. Plus, 0% financing for 72 months. The trained technicians from Ashley Air will install your new system right the first time. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get up to $3,000 cash back now on select new systems. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your install. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Community, where you create a home, you shop, you play, you cheer. At Wave Rural Connect, we live in the same community as you. You might see our employees in the grocery store, at the park, maybe the ball game. Wave Rural Connect is here to enable this community that we love with fast fiber internet, TV, and phone right here in your town, along with friendly local customer service. Go to waveruralconnect.com or call us at 1-833-4WAVE-RC to find out more. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
When you want beer, you go to a bar.
When you want top-shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
At Frank Rowe Furniture, the April 7th, 8th, and 9th sale went so well, we're continuing to sell on all furniture through the end of April. We have one of the largest selections in the River Valley, and our warehouse is full, and truckloads are on the way. 40% off on all cash, check, or card sales, 35% off on our in-store note credit check financing. Folks, this is not a gimmick. It's the real deal. We are family-owned in our 27th year, offering in-house delivery, service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights, we switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Heath Roberts, right here in the River Valley, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Heath and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Heath Roberts, it's easy to switch and save. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call Heath Roberts at 479-452-4088.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I like pleasure spiked with pain, and music is my aeroplane. It's my aeroplane.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Nothing better than just classic alternative right there with Chili Peppers. You listen to the new album yet? It's not bad.
I have not.
Bad. I think I might have to listen to it a couple more times.
I got a long drive on
for it to
Friday.
get good.
I'll knock it out.
Yeah, you'll have a lot to listen to. That's right. 877-377-6963. We had a listener early here. Yeah, Jeremiah in Cedarville wants your opinion on which Razorback gets a ring in the NBA playoffs this year. Is it going to be Isaiah Joe in Philly? Is it going to be Moses Moody with Golden State? Or Bobby Portis with the Bucks? I saw Bobby got an injury yesterday. He got an elbow to the face.
Yeah, I went up for a rebound and got a nice little elbow to the eye there. Seems to be fine, though. But I do like how Jeremiah left out Patrick Beverly, which is very nice of him to.
That's true.
Because he knows I would definitely say no because Patrick Beverly plays for the T-Wolves, and, of course, the Timberwolves are going up against my Grizzlies. So it definitely won't be Patrick Beverly. If I had to put money on it, Sixers are looking real good. They're up 3-0 right now over to the Raptors. Nets are floundering against the Celtics. Miami can still be a real good contender in the East. You know what? I'll say Isaiah Joe with Philly. I say he gets it this year. I don't think Golden State's there yet. I think there's just too much power in the West. I think that Phoenix will probably end up representing the West again there. And then, obviously I'd love for the Grizzlies to do that. But to answer Jeremiah in Cedarville, Arkansas's question, I'll say Isaiah Joe with Philly. It has the best opportunity this year.
All right. Well, he asked for opinions here. I don't know if I really have one since I haven't watched enough NBA playoffs to really form an opinion on this yet. So that's what Drew's here for.
Yeah. And if anybody else wants to gain some more knowledge, always tune in to the NBA Views from the Cruise podcast on the Hit That Line Podcast Network.
Yes. Yes, that was my next question.
Yes.
Yes, the next edition of the podcast should have a segment on that. All right, we got Charlie on hold here. Hey, Tuna, good to hear from you. What's going on?
What's going on? Hey, Drew, man, I'm sorry to tell you this. I love you and all. You're great. I'm happy for you and everything. But your Grizzlies are going home next round if the Warriors stay healthy. Just so you know.
I mean, we'll see. Anything can happen. We'll see. But
no. And that's just my pick before the season. I'm obviously a huge LeBron fan. I was hoping they could make that thing work with Russ, but I never thought they would. And then you combine all the injuries. They didn't get it done. So my pick before the season was the Warriors, and my pick when the playoffs started, I got the Warriors. And I think when you got a guy like Jordan Poole who's come on, and then obviously Steph at some point, I think he played 23 minutes one of those games and still scored 34. Clay's back. Just the experience of them, and then the combination of being there and doing that. That's just my pick, and I could be wrong. I think they have the best chance with the Bucks being second.
Well, no, I don't, and I don't think that any three of those options that Jeremiah gave me were bad options. I think that all three of them can be correct. I just really like how Philly's playing right now against the Raptors.
Well, I think Philly's playing away. I just think the Raptors are not. I think Philly's just way ahead of them. I think these other teams is a little bit more even. But anyway, I wanted to touch on a couple of things. And by the way, Phoenix is a little bit in trouble with Booker being out these next two. They better not play around with this Pelicans team.
Yeah, they'll get through the first round, though.
Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to say about this football team just a bit, and I wanted to touch on something. I want to see what you guys thought. I hate to even bring this era up, but I'm just going to bring it up a bit because I hate even thinking about it because I know you guys do. But when Chad Morris was here, one of the things that I thought he didn't do a very good job of is when the team got down early, they didn't do a good job of fighting back. And in football or in anything, even in life or whatever, sometimes you're going to get knocked down, but you got to find a way to get back up and keep fighting. One thing about this team that I've noticed over the past few years, there's been times they've been down in games early or whatever, didn't get off to the greatest start. We know the pre-snap penalties have been an issue. I'm hoping that they can kind of cut those in half because my coach always used to say there are dumb penalties and there are competitive. You're playing hard, you get beat penalties. You can kind of live with those, but the pre-snap ones, I'm hoping this year we can do a little bit better job of that. We had an issue with that last year, even at home. But what I'm saying is I think one thing about this team and Sam Pittman and his staff, even if they get down early and a lot, even if it's self-inflicted, they do a really good job of responding to adversity and, fighting back in these games. And, and I think, a lot of those games, other than the Georgia game last year, we had a chance to win. So, the great thing about it is I think it's going to go that way again this year, So now I hope the penalties come down. Let me just say that. I'm hoping we can fix some of that. The pre-snap one, you're going to have some holding. Those are kind of subjective at times, so you're going to have some of those. But if we can cut the pre-snap stuff down, man, I think teams early, they'll load the box on us. They're going to challenge to see if we can throw the ball down the field, and I'd load the box too. But anyways, guys, let's see what you guys thought about that. Just our ability to respond to adversity, even when things don't look good early.
Charlie, I think there's a couple
Tanner.
things that go into that, and certainly, I mean, you point to the Chad Morris era, and I don't think the team necessarily believed in the message coming from the coach. I think they felt divided and maybe even a little beaten down by that. But at the same time, like I remember, they tried to have some leadership on the field. I felt like Ty Storey did his absolute best to do that. But, game in, game out, you never knew who the starting quarterback was going to be. And when you don't know who's going to be the most important position on the field, it's kind of difficult to, have a fighting spirit. And I feel like you can point to Sam Pittman and his coaching staff, obviously, of being one reason why this team has that toughness instilled in them, that they have the sense that, if they trail early, there's a great chance to come from behind. And Coach Pittman talks quite a bit about not, I don't think there are any big pregame speeches or overturning, tables or beating guys down and stuff like that. They just talk to themselves, the coaches themselves, about the things they can do to try to change scheme and certain situations to get things rolling in the second half. And you saw that a little bit. But then there's also KJ Jefferson. When you have a quarterback as good as he is, that makes as many plays as he has, and plays hurt, and just has that kind of I know KJ says he's being a little bit more vocal here in the spring, but there's a quiet leadership about him, the way he goes about things on the field,
a leading by example type of thing.
Guys get behind that. So I think it's twofold, and the other thing too is They've won enough games behind Sam Pittman to have the sense that, yeah, we can do this. You know, and coming from behind the way they did against Rice the first game last year, I don't think you can discount that it was Rice, and so who cares? They played a terrible first half and gathered things together and played a much better second half. I'm not going to say that's where the rest of the season was born, but it was the first game of the year, and they saw that they could come from behind.
Exactly. I mean, there's something to be said of having faith in your coaching staff and having faith in your fellow players to know that you can come back. Under Chad Morris, it felt like, regardless of what the score was, that you almost had this feeling that the team, at any sign of adversity, had given up. And it's just human nature. When you don't really believe and buy into your leadership, it's hard to stay focused when you're down. It's hard to stay up emotionally when you're down by a lot, when you don't believe in the leadership and the direction that your program is going. Under Sam Pittman, these guys believe that he's going to not only put them in the best position, he's going to be right there with them. He's going to fight for all 60 minutes. He's going to be there with them through the thick and thin, and that is a guy that they can get behind. That says so much when you have that type of leadership in place. And Sam Pittman talks about it all the time. The best compliment that you can get as a football player and as a man is that he's tough. He talks about toughness so much. He says the best compliment you can get is somebody says that you are tough. And that means you're tough in life. You're able to battle back, and you're a good person to have in a hole next to you in the middle of war and battle. That is what Sam Pittman's program and his philosophy is built on, is toughness. So of course, a philosophy and a program that's built on toughness isn't going to quit.
The kind of toughness. I mean, I think Sam Pittman and this staff instilled two kinds of toughness into this team. One of this is the physical toughness that you've got to have that was lacking at the line of scrimmage. This is a tough team at the line of scrimmage. They play physical. They've got the bodies to match that now, and they are a hard team to play against because they're tough on the football field in a physical way. Then there's the mental aspect of toughness, which might be even a little more important, certainly in life and everything like that. But these two things have to work together. And mental toughness, like, it takes a while to get physically built what you need to be to play Division I college football, especially the line of scrimmage. And, hey, you had an undersized offensive line under the previous coaching staff. It took a little time to get them to where they are now. The mental toughness, that takes even longer to build up. And you saw it in that second year. You definitely saw it. And moving forward, you only get a little bit tougher. As long as the message stays the same, the personnel is just about the same.
And it will stay the same. I don't see Sam Pittman change his philosophy anytime soon.
That's exactly right. Hey, thanks to Crabtree RV Center in Alma for sponsoring Halftime and for being the center that served the River Valley for 72 years. Family-owned business on 17 acres at the junction of I-40 and I-49, right next to the Cracker Barrel. That's Crabtree RV Center on a 26,000 square foot showroom floor, indoor, with an RV park, service, and parts department, all at their one convenient location, Monday through Saturday. Go by and visit Bert and all the guys at Crabtree RV, where they've been voted best of the best for 7 years in a row. It's Crabtree RV Center in Alma, next to the Cracker Barrel. And Halftime back after this.
Racing fans, the road to the roses has started. Where are you going to bet? BUSR, of course. Win, place, show, you name it, they got it. You can even place future wagers on the Kentucky Derby today and lock in fantastic odds. Besides horses, you can bet on sports and play over 300 casino games at BUSR. Sign up today and get an exclusive 100% deposit bonus. Go to BUSR.com/morningrush. That's BUSR.com/morningrush. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR.
Attention.
Here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab.
C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Jason Aldean says there's only two means of salvation around here that seem to work: whiskey or the Bible, shot glass or revival. He doesn't want to be stuck in these two ruts. He needs something in between to fulfill his dreams. Hebrews 7:25 says, Jesus is able to save completely those who draw near to God through him. Don't trust your spiritual strut or placing your butt in a church pew or bar stool, because all three will lie to you. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season futures. And don't forget that the MLB is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with a now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479. Save thousands during the storm damage sale at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Over 350 new and pre-owned vehicles were damaged during the recent storm, and now over $1 million in discounts will be passed on to Harry Robinson's customers. Some of the damage is really minor, but the savings are severe. Plus, there are still lots of vehicles that were not damaged in stock. Save thousands on your next vehicle during the storm damage sale at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Hey, congratulations to former Razorback Zach Jackson for picking up his first Major League save a couple of days ago for the Oakland Athletics.
Did
I don't
anyone?
know how many people saw it.
If somebody got a save in an A's game and nobody was around to see it, did it happen?
Well, there were 2,443 fans at the A's game against the Rangers in 1980. There were 2,703 at a game yesterday. I guess nobody really wanted to see the Athletics and the Orioles. I guess the Orioles fans just don't travel across the country, do they, Drew?
Apparently not. Apparently we're not the most traveling of baseball clubs in America. But, hey, we got the 1-0 win. All right, pitching's been strong. 4-8. Only 4 games under 500. I'm feeling pretty good.
Oh, by the way, and I want to go on this attendance thing a little more. I saw the ugliest pitching line ever yesterday for a former Razorback. Dallas Keuchel gave up 10 hits. And was it 9 runs? There we go. 10 runs, 10 hits in 1 inning. And I've never seen that's usually the line for the position player pitching the 8th inning, of the blowout game. Right. How did Tony La Russa leave Dallas Keuchel in that long to give up 10 hits? Out of 17 batters faced, he allowed 11 of them to reach and 10 scored. And this is a Cy Young Award winner, former Cy. It's been a while, but
been a minute, but still. Oh, wow. Goodness gracious! If I'm Dallas Keuchel in that position, I'm pissed. I'm mad. I'm being kept in there because you're obviously having a bad day. Like, you obviously do not have your stuff. It's obviously not working. Like, I'm looking over at the dugout and just like refusing to pitch and just be like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to sit here or stand here on this mound when I clearly don't have my stuff and let you make a fool out of me. Get me out of this game. It's not working. Please. Like, I would have refused to pitch at that point.
Okay, so by the way, 3,748 people were there to watch Zach Jackson get his first Major League save for Oakland.
Okay.
The Athletics this year, they've had, these were their first 3 home games of the season. Okay. 17,500 for a home opener. Admittedly, on a Monday,
stadium that seats 48 something.
In a stadium that had giant football stands built in the upper deck in center field in order to get the Raiders back from Los Angeles, and now they don't even have the Raiders in Oakland anymore. And the Athletics are either building a new stadium or they're gone. I've been to Missouri baseball games with more people. That would be a lie. But think about this. Like, there are, on average now, more fans at Arkansas Razorback baseball games than there are for 3 games together at an Oakland Athletics series. Like, if you were to take away their home opener, in which 17,000 people were fired up enough to show up, their usual attendance looks like it's like 3,500. That takes 3 games worth to fill up Baum-Walker Stadium. That blows my mind.
I mean, it does blow your mind, but when you look at the status of the A's, talking about what they did in the offseason, traded away some key pieces, and then spent $0. Not a few thousand, not $1 million, which is almost nothing in Major League Baseball. Literally spent $0 in free agency. I mean, if you're an A's fan,
traded away some of your best players.
I know, exactly. So if you're an A's fan, and it's one thing to be an Orioles fan. Yes, we do the same thing, but we have a nice ballpark. People call it a very nice ballpark. There's fun things to do around Camden Yards. It's more than just a baseball game.
I wonder how many people are
it's
showing up for those games, though. It's the same with the Pirates.
Yeah,
the Pirates have this great stadium,
you're
but
still
no
getting
reason
more
to ever
people,
go and watch the team.
But you're still getting more people, though. If you're an
A's
fan,
much.
I know, not by much, but you're still getting more. We're not the bottom of the barrel, Phil. We're right above it. But if you're an A's fan and you see a team that's doing absolutely nothing to try to win, a crappy product on the field, yes, they're 1 game over 500 right now, but not a very good product on the field, and you got to go sit in a terrible stadium where, tickets are affordable, but you can't see the field from 80% of it, why go? Why be miserable? Why bring your binoculars to every single game? It makes no sense. You have to build a better ballpark. You have to put money into a franchise. Or maybe the A's are trying to move. Maybe they're pulling a major league here where if they can get attendance so low enough, there's a clause in the contract with the city that they can move the league.
If there was a ballpark that was ready for them, they'd be gone. They'd be going to whatever city if there was a ballpark ready for them. The Pirates, by the way, have had 5 games of attendance under 10,000. So at least they had 34,000 for the home opener. But optimism lasts exactly 1 day for baseball in Pittsburgh. So, I mean, there's a couple other major league teams, you know. And the Orioles, they're drawing. They get people coming into that ballpark because that's a baseball town. And they're close enough to some of the other cities where the Yankee fans are showing up.
Red Sox
the Red Sox fans are showing up.
Come, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, have fun with that, Oakland Athletics. They're getting minor league attendance there. And that can't
that's
be much
bad for
fun.
even minor leagues. I mean, it's especially AAA with stadiums that seat about 10. Like, goodness gracious, that's still bad.
Hey, we got Eddie in Clarksville on hold. Let's go to Eddie. It's been a while, man. Where you been? How are you?
How you doing, gentlemen?
Doing well,
I just
sir.
have to say to a baseball Hawk train, tomorrow night, let's bring the pitching mojo to the Aggies. I've been pleasantly surprised this year by the bullpen. The whole pitching staff stepped up, and that nasty curveball of Connor Nolan will bring it to the Aggies tomorrow night. Gentlemen, which brings me, you know, I never see so much excitement in a fan base. It's nice to see. Everywhere I go, fans are ramped up, and that's number one because the coach, Jukebox, I mean, the whole program ramped up by Coach Sam Pittman. I tell you what, he's not only changed the dynamics of our program, he's got the whole state. You got fans across the country jumping aboard the whole train, rooting for the Hogs. I tell you what, I'm so excited about this year.
Well, Eddie, we got a few months to keep that excitement level up. You know, and once we get to that 100-day mark, which I don't know when it is, but I know it'll come up like in the next month or so, then just let that excitement continue to How do you keep this excitement level all off season long? Like, how do you stay up as much as you sound up right now?
Well, sir, it's been a while since I've been this ramped up. But, you know, I said once on the Bo Manley show, I have a dream. And my dream is coming closer with Coach Sam Pittman. Not saying it's going to be this year, but I tell you what, we're going to be in every game. And what I like about this year on the schedule, guess what? We got 7 home games, and you got to come to Hoptown. And that fan base is going to be ramped up just like ours. You talk about basketball fan base. You talk about passion. You talk about Bomb Stadium. Is there any better? I said it once, I'll say it again. Tell me a better baseball environment in the country in a packed house than Bomb Stadium.
Well, I don't have another one there for you, Eddie. But I tell you, it was a little quiet the last yesterday. It felt a little bit like friends and family. But midweek against AState is a lot different than a weekend against Ole Miss, which is going to be
just a bit.
Just a little bit. And that's where, like, hey, I hope you show up for games against Ole Miss, Eddie, because I feel like we've got really, really good fans for baseball games. I don't know. There's something about you where I feel like you might be able to intimidate the opposing baseball team. What do you say you show up and heckle them in the hog pen? Can you do it?
I don't know about that, Jim, but I tell you what, though, things are looking. You talk about the Hawk train and all of victory. What is starting to roll? And my dream, I believe the fan base is starting to believe, and then they made it in another year or two. Won a national championship and going to run up there on the hill, and we're going to win. I'll be in the playoff and win the SEC Western Division title, and we're going to be the top dog because we're not far off.
So now I don't think they are that far off. Arkansas may contend in the West Division this year. From your lips to the college football god's ears, please, Eddie. And thank you very much for your call. It's good to hear from you. Thank you for listening to our show. 877-377-6963 if you want to get with us in the final segment, which is coming up in just a moment. Brought to you by Riley Farm Dental at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, right at the entrance of Riley Farms in Fort Smith off Highway 71. Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan serving to give patients better lives and comfortable experiences. Been voted top 3 best of the best every year, 4 years running. With braces, implants, and cosmetics, they'll provide all the dental procedures and the simple stuff. Call 226-3500. Go to RileyFarmDental.com or just give them a visit at the office at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A. All right, we have to bring back an Alexander Dumas of the week because we've seen
on a Thursday.
We literally have the stupidest thing that anybody has ever done on an airplane ever. So stay with us.
I can't help recalling how it felt to kiss, hold you tight. Oh, how can I forget you, girl? When there is always something there to remind me.
Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith is open and ready to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations available for ages 5 and up and the new second booster for ages 50 and up. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your booster appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Always online at randallford.com. Now, Dalton, you guys have over 180 vehicles on the lot, but if there's something that someone wants that you don't have, you guys can special order it.
Yeah, obviously with the shortage of new inventory, there's not a lot right now, and the best way to get what you want is just to order it, and we can sit down and get that knocked out really quick.
And you can lock in the rates, the special pricing that for maybe a vehicle you can't get for a month or so, but you lock it in today. That's a big deal here at Randall Ford, Dalton.
Yeah, it is. So you can lock in the rates for today or take the better rates when your vehicle comes in, your choice. So it's an awesome deal.
Yeah, it's an incredible deal. Come by and see us here at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Always online at randallford.com. Again, if they don't have what you're looking for right now at Randall Ford, they can special order it for you. Just stop by and see Dalton today here at Randall Ford.
Looking for something a bit lighter for lunch or dinner? Art's Barbecue and Burgers has added blackened or grilled tilapia to the menu with all of your favorite sides. If catfish is what pleases your palate, every Friday night is all-you-can-eat catfish at Art's Barbecue. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has it all for your lighter lunch or dinner or your weekend pig out. And don't forget $1 off all burgers every Saturday. Call 452-2550 for to-go orders. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Extended. Breeden RV's tax time sale has extended until April 30th. That's right. We will pay up to $1,000 of your state sales tax on all new inventory from now until the end of April, and you will still get to take advantage of discounts up to $20,000 off new travel trailers and up to $30,000 off new fifth wheels. All come with Breeden RV's exclusive maintenance for life at no extra charge. We also want to buy your used RV, so come see us today at Breeden RV in Van Buren or BreedenRVs.com. While supplies last, see dealer for details.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Finding an assisted living or senior care facility is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Choose the best. Hope's Creek in Van Buren. At Hope's Creek, your loved one will be in apartment-style living, eating 3 home-style meals daily, and receive the care and services they need. The round-the-clock nursing staff monitors health needs in a secure, monitored environment. Plus, you can check on your loved one anytime with 24-hour access. Stop by for a visit at 2502 Fayetteville Road, or check out Hope's Creek online at hopescreek.com.
Carco Auto Sales takes great pride in serving Fort Smith, the River Valley, and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years, offering a variety of quality, late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. The friendly and knowledgeable staff can help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Carco Auto Sales will purchase your vehicle as well. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. Check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Make sure to make your plans for 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge this weekend tonight at 7 o'clock until 10. Earl and them with their Arkansas Rock and Groove. Friday after 5 Jazz, 8 until midnight. They'll have the Al Gress Trio there on Saturday. Open until midnight tonight, 1 o'clock Friday and Saturday night. That's 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Great place to start your evening with a cocktail. Great place to spend your whole night. They got great food. Finish it off with an old-fashioned cigar. They've got the best cigars anywhere in the state of Arkansas. That's 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Go to their Facebook page for their events, 906lounge.com for the menu, and give them a visit at 906 Garrison Avenue. All right, we hadn't done any of our former segments for a long time. We used to have an Alexander Dumas of the Week, and it had been retired, but we had to break it out for the story we're about to tell you.
Because this is the Dumas of all Dumas.
And I was wondering what Dumas would make of all this.
Come again.
Alexandre Dumas. He wrote The Three Musketeers.
Are you stupid or something?
Are you stupid?
I don't think so, no. Did you eat a lot of paint chips when you were a kid?
Stupid is as stupid does, sir.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
What was supposed to do, you moron?
Calm down. Have some dip.
Are you crazy or just plain stupid?
Mama says stupid is as stupid does.
So you're a smart man who said some really stupid things.
Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas.
Dumas. You know what that's about?
We're talking about our idiot kicker who got liquored up and ran his mouth off.
You're so stupid!
So there's video that I saw on TMZ that's on a flight from San Francisco to Florida. And a young gentleman who appears to have been consuming some alcoholic beverages while waiting for the flight was found out he was sitting right behind the one and only Mike Tyson. There is only one baddest man on the planet. I think Mike Tyson still could be that guy. And the video starts with him, talking right over Tyson's head. And apparently he was, Tyson was friendly enough to take a selfie with him, talk with him a little bit. But the guy wouldn't leave him alone. Kept standing up, and when you read the story about him, he was visibly intoxicated. He wouldn't stop, according to the story, provoking Tyson.
Which is
now,
dumb.
Keep in mind, this is somebody in Mike Tyson who, like less than a month ago, had a gun pulled on him and challenged to a fight and just sat there, did nothing. The video ends. This video ends with Mike Tyson punching this dude in the face in his seat.
In Tyson's
5 or 6
defense,
times.
he doesn't rear back a lot. I mean, these are quick little jabs. But still,
Yes,
a Mike
it's a
Tyson
jab, that's right.
A Mike Tyson quick jab is still probably a lot more painful than other people's full rear back, cock and coming across punches. I just don't see how you can be this dumb. I have been extremely intoxicated multiple times in my life. I'll admit that. I've done some dumb things.
Do you feel tough when you drink?
I do not. I am. I
Some
consider
of these
myself.
guys, they drink, and the more they drink, the tougher they think they are.
Now, I will be more inclined to fight, but that's me going from 0 to like 5% as far as inclined. Like when I'm sober, I'm a pacifist. I don't want to fight. We can figure this out with words. Getting punched in the face hurts, and I don't want to get punched in the face. When I get drunk and something happens with my buddies, I always go up to them and be like, hey, man, I'm a pacifist. But if I got to throw hands, I'll throw hands. One of those things. So it barely goes up. I would never, I really hope that I could never be so dumb to literally try to get Mike Tyson to punch me in the face. Because that's exactly what this guy is doing.
He's provoking him.
He's provoking Mike Tyson, the champ, the guy that is known to almost kill people with the strength that he has in his fists. You want to provoke that guy.
At one point, he threatened to eat somebody's children.
He bit a man's ear off.
Bit a man's ear off, for God's sakes.
And now has the sense of humor to have a business with that boxer in which they're making
which is
CBD
funny.
gummies or marijuana gummies.
Did he think he
out
was
of the
soft
shape
now?
of his ear.
This guy thinks, oh, he's softened up. Now I can take him. He's a joke
I
now.
don't think he was challenging him. I think he just pissed him off. I mean, you know what it's like. You get somebody that's sitting behind you on an airplane or just somebody that won't leave you alone.
Because there's
But
nowhere
it's
Tyson
we're not
can't walk
celebrities.
away.
Nobody's asking to take selfies with us. So you do the he takes the selfie. I mean, it sounds like he actually was a gracious,
he's a nice guy
person at
about
first.
it.
But you're talking about, like, how long is a flight from Florida to San Francisco for crying out loud?
That's probably good 4.5, 5 hours. Sir.
And we're not. Look, I'm not here to advocate for violence. We are pacifists here.
Do you think Do you think Tyson overreacted? Or
No, I don't.
So then there is a line that got crossed where it's unacceptable now for him to punch that guy in the face.
I mean, for Mike Tyson, what is his other options? He's on a plane. He can't walk away.
See, I'm not Mike Tyson, but even if somebody was antagonizing me on a plane, I still wouldn't hit him because I know I probably can't hit him that hard. You know, I don't have the confidence in myself to punch somebody.
I mean, I don't
and
either.
then not have them kick my butt. You know?
Exactly, but we're not Mike Tyson. I mean, in that situation, there has to be a limit, and I think that the staff should have stepped in. I think there should have been some type of restraint from the stewardess and the flight attendants that were on the plane to try to separate and calm down the situation, because if you watch the video, it is clear to everyone on this plane what is going on. Nobody would have just been watching a movie, looked up and going, why is Mike Tyson punching that guy in the face? This seems like something that lasted quite a while. So
maybe the real question, guys, is why is Mike Tyson flying coach?
That's right. Why is he back there with all the just regular?
I don't know. That might have been first
like
class. It seems. I mean, they've got the dividers there. You don't see that in coach.
I thought
he's at least business.
Okay, they do look. They're at the front of the plane.
They're at the front of the plane. He's flying
Are they at the front of the plane?
First class.
Sure
yeah,
you can see it in the video.
Yeah, you see the little dividers there. I mean, they've got. He's riding first class.
Okay, because for a moment there, I'm thinking why would this guy be flying coach? So this other guy, why is this dude?
How
flying
did this
first
guy
class?
get up there?
I know.
Yeah. How is
Did
somebody?
they have an empty seat they let him
Well,
have?
How is somebody that stupid to actually piss off a world champion boxer who still could kick a lot of people's butts at his age, that probably get in the ring now?
I guess he's never experienced the free alcohol of first class before.
Good advice to take when you're out and about. If you get a selfie with Mike Tyson,
say thank you and walk away.
Leave it at that. Leave the baddest man in the planet alone. And just join him for his hotboxing podcast, because that'll chill anybody out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. I got to run. I got a flight to catch. Curbside broadcaster airplane service. This is
don't
wonderful.
punch anybody on the flight.
No punching passengers.
Don't want you to be the Dumas tomorrow.
I'll just take my selfie with Dave Van Horn and call it a day, okay? All right. See you guys tomorrow. For Drew and Maddie, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, get better.